Hello. So, week 2 happened. That was an interesting week, to say the least. I ended up going 13-3. The only ones I got wrong is I picked the Steelers over the Seahawks, which I'm not too upset about because the Seahawks ended up winning, though. I picked the... Dang it. Which one did I pick? I picked the Broncos over the Colts, which if it wasn't for a stupid personal foul penalty, I would have been right. And then I picked the Vikings over the Falcons, which I'm not surprised, but yeah, the Vikings did not look good. So that put my overall record at 24-8. So I'm actually doing pretty well for myself, which I'm not too disappointed about. But let's go into week number 3. Week number 3, hopefully this week will be just as crazy as last week, though. Week 2, we got Dolphins-Bills on Thursday Night Football. Miami does not look good right now. Their defense is struggling. Tua is having a hard time, although Tua did play a little bit better. And Josh Allen is still a beast. He's still playing like Josh Allen. I'm going to go with the Bills. I think this one's pretty easy. And then, this is a game I was pretty excited about. Now I don't really know what to think about, though. It could still be a really good game, though. Who knows? It's the battle of the backup quarterbacks in the LSU Bowl, which, honestly, every single time we have Vikings, Bengals, and it's Justin Jefferson versus Jamar Chase, I always say the LSU Bowl. Bengals, Vikings, but Joe Burrow is on IR, and the Vikings are sitting Mike McCarthy for a little while with an ankle strain that could keep him out for a while, though. So, but we're gonna have to keep our eye open for that, though. This is a very interesting matchup, though. Surprisingly, the Bengals are undefeated so far. Their defense isn't too bad, but their offense has been a little bit iffy. But then again, their offense always starts off slow. But I'm actually going to go with the Bengals in this one. I think the Bengals are going to win. They got Texans, Jaguars. This one's very, very interesting, though. The Texans are really struggling out of the gate, though. C.J. Stroud has no offensive line. Jacksonville's been playing pretty decently, though. Barely losing to the Bengals, though. It wasn't a great loss, but could have been worse, though. I'm going to go with the Jaguars in this one. Then you got Colts, Titans. The Colts are easily the biggest surprise of the NFL season so far. Titans, they're not very good, though. I think Callahan's seat's getting pretty hot, though. I'm going to go with the Colts in this one, though. Surprisingly, Daniel Jones has been really good. And I just had to pick up Daniel Jones in fantasy because I had to put Joe Burrow on IR. So, yeah. My fantasy is in some trouble right now. Then you got the Raiders and Commanders. This is another very interesting one. I like the quarterback matchup, but Jayden Daniels is questionable with a knee injury. And because of that, it's very hard to predict. If Jayden Daniels plays, I think the Commanders can win. But if he doesn't play, I actually think the Raiders could win. So I'm actually going to pick the Raiders in this one. Even though the Raiders did not play well against the Chargers, though. But then again, I think he's going up against a lesser defense. Then, this should also be a really good game, though. You got Rams-Eagles, a rematch of their playoff matchup, though. The Rams are doing enough to get by, though, but I don't think they are at their best right now. I think they will get better as the season goes on, as long as Stafford doesn't re-aggravate that back injury that he has, though. The Eagles, they've been holding on. They've been playing decently well, though. So, but I'm actually going to go with the Eagles, though. Saquon Barkley had the Rams defense number both times last year, so I'm going to go with the Rams. Hopefully he has a big game because I have him in fantasy, and he's not doing as well as I would like. Then you got Falcons-Panthers. This is another interesting one, though. The Falcons ended up winning against the Vikings, though, looking okay in the process, though. The Panthers almost made a comeback against the Cardinals, though. Bryce Young, on the bright side, looked a little bit better, though, but there's still some work that needs to be done, though. I'm going to go with the Falcons in this one. You got Steelers-Patriots, though. Both kind of mid-teams. The Steelers really, really struggled against the Seahawks, though. I don't think the Patriots' defense is as good as the Seahawks, though. Although the Patriots haven't been terrible, to say the least, though. Once again, I feel like another mid-team. I'm going to go with the Steelers. Packers-Browns. Oh, boy. Yeah, Green Bay may have the best defense in the NFL, thanks to Jerry Jones and his stupidity. The Browns, they're the Browns. They're not very good, though. Kevin Stefanski's still rolling with Joe Flacco, but then again, I think even if you put another quarterback in, I don't really think it makes a difference, though. I'm going to go with the Packers. Then you got Jets-Buccaneers. The Jets, yeah. Remember when, Jets might be a sleeper team? Well, apparently not. They did not look good against the Buffalo Bills, though. Justin Fields has a concussion. I'm not sure if he's going to play in this game, though. The Buccaneers are being carried by Baker Mayfield right now because he's just being some phenomenal comeback drives, though. I'm going to go with the Buccaneers. I think the Buccaneers are going to cruise to an easy victory here. Hopefully, they won't need the assistance of Mayfield very much. And hopefully, we get more Mike Evans because I need more Mike Evans because he's also on my fantasy. Also, he needs to get 1,000 yards. Then, this should be a good game, though. You got the Denver Broncos versus the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers looking pretty good so far, though. Hopefully, Khalil Mack's injury isn't as serious as we think. I haven't heard many updates on it yet, though. But, yeah, the Broncos losing a heartbreaker to the Indianapolis Colts, though. Bo Nix did look a little bit better, though. But I am going to go with the Chargers in this one, though. I think the Broncos are going to struggle against that defense. Saints, Seahawks, though. The Saints have not been as bad as we thought they were going to be. They're not a good team, but they're not as bad as we thought, though. The Seahawks looked a lot better against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Sam Darnold looked good. Kenneth Walker looked good. Offensive line was okay, though. Jackson Smith-Njigba had a good game. Cooper Kupp had a good game. Our defense, our defense was so good, though. I think this is going to be kind of another comeback down-to-earth game, and I think the Seahawks are going to beat them pretty handily, though, or at least I would really, really love it. Then, Cowboys-Bears. Yeah, the Bears. I am so sorry, Bears. The Pope is not enough power, though. I mean, I would still recommend the Catholic Church. I am Catholic. I would still recommend going to the Catholic Church, but the Catholic Church isn't really helping out the Bears very much. So maybe they could play defense, but yeah, we haven't had a Pope this disappointed since Jesus died. I took that joke from Annie Angar, I know. And you got the Cowboys, who somehow won that game against the Giants. It was absolutely insane. It was a massive quarterback duel. Dak was amazing. CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens had good games, but of course it was their defense that was really, really bad, though. I will say for the Bears, though, this is a really good game to play now because you need to have Caleb Williams have that kind of game that makes you go, yes, he is the guy. They have a lot of options around him, though, but it's just not really getting used properly, though. So this is a game that he has to have a good game in, though, and especially since going up against a really bad Cowboys defense, though, I think the Cowboys will rip this Bears defense to shreds just like the Bears did. I think it's going to be one of the highest scoring games of the week, though, but I am going to go with the Cowboys, though. But Caleb Williams has to have a good game. If not, then, yeah, the Bears are in some serious, serious trouble, though. Then you got Cardinals 49ers. This is another very interesting one, though. Both teams are undefeated, though. Arizona, they've been very mid. They almost blew that game against the Panthers, though. The 49ers, almost everyone is on IR, but they're 2-0. Surprisingly, I'm actually going to go with the Cardinals. Might shock some people. I'm going to go with the Cardinals. I think these injuries are going to finally catch up to the 49ers, though. But honestly, that would actually be really good if the Cardinals win, because then we have to play them on Thursday night. Not this Thursday night, but next Thursday night. And then we can maybe, just maybe, especially if the Eagles win, that we could take number one in the division. That would be so awesome, because I was so afraid it was going to be 2-0, 2-0, 2-0. Seattle 0-2. Ugh, wouldn't have liked that. Then you got the Monday night game, which at the beginning of the season, I would not have been super thrilled with, though. Now, somewhat thrilled by the Chiefs and the Giants. The Chiefs, yeah, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 0-2. Sorry, Taylor Swift joke. Yeah, the Chiefs struggling right off the gate, though. I mean, they're 0-2 right now? Yikes. And meanwhile, they got the Giants who are also 0-2. But then again, no one's really surprised by that, though. Russell Wilson balled out against that Cowboys defense, though. He had a phenomenal game with Malik Neighbors catching like a blindfolded pass. That was one of the best games of the year so far. And we're only 2 weeks in. We got 15 more weeks and 4 playoff weeks of this. So, yeah. So, I think this should be a bounce-back game for the Chiefs. So, I don't think Russell's going to ball out the way that he did, though. If he does and the Chiefs lose, then I think we should really be concerned about the Chiefs. But I think this is a good bounce-back game for the Chiefs. Right now, they should win, though. But I also think over time they are going to get better because, of course, Travis Kelce and, I'm sorry, not Travis Kelce, Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy will be back. So we're going to go with the Chiefs in this one. Then, oh my gosh, this game should be amazing. You have the Detroit Lions at the Baltimore Ravens. This is easily my most anticipated game of the week. This game should be phenomenal, and I love that it's on Monday Night Football, though. The Lions really came back down to earth, though, and they put up 52 points against the Chicago Bears. Now, is that because the Lions are just that good and they just had a rough first game? I don't know, but the Ravens do look legit, though. They've put up 40 points and 41 points in back-to-back weeks. They have the highest scoring offense. Lamar Jackson looks like one of the best quarterbacks, though. They didn't use Derrick Henry very much, which I was a little disappointed by. This one is such a 50-50 kind of matchup, though. I wouldn't blame anyone for picking either team, but my gut is I'm going to go with the Ravens. We're going to go with the Ravens, though. I could see the Lions win. I am so excited for this game, though. This game should be really, really good. And I hope it lives up to the hype, though. And I'm not sure if it's going to be like a high-scoring matchup or like a low-scoring matchup, though. It's going to be a really, really good game. So I'm very, very excited for Lions-Ravens, though. All right, that is it. I have to go back to work right now. Luckily, I didn't get a call, so I drive, basically, for a living. Though I do have other stuff to do right here. But yeah, I hope you guys subscribe to House of Seahawks and follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Well, I'm sorry. It's not Twitter anymore. It's X. Sorry, Elon Musk. But yeah, I will see you guys next time.